9, 8, 7. Hey, Songtown, I'm Clay Mills. I'm here with my co-host, Dana.
Hello, everyone.
Dana has a last name, too, but it's Dana Rogers. If you can hear us, let me know in the chat, and then we'll get started. We've got a great publisher coming up tonight, Michael August. He's not only a publisher, but he's a great songwriter, too. So you're going to get some valuable insight from him. We had so many songs submitted that I wanted to get to more of them. And so after 90 minutes, we're going to bring up another publisher, Tenasie Courtright, and she's going to go through songs. So buckle in. We're in for the long haul, and we're going to get through as many songs as we can.
Yeah, I think we had maybe more submissions than ever. So
I know.
That's some good songs.
All right, let's bring up Michael. Woo!
Hey, folks.
Woo!
All right. How's it
All
going?
right, and it's going great. Glad to have you here, man.
Awesome, man. Glad to be here, dude. It's been the AI chat last night was fun. Probably maybe a lot of similar folks on tonight, hopefully.
Yes, we have probably about 5 times as many people on tonight. So you got a packed house, so you better be giving some spot on advice.
Yeah, pressure's on.
Hey,
so here's
we're gonna do the
for
best
those of the for those of you new to Club Songtown, we bring in publishers, hit songwriters. Tonight it's publisher night, and Michael is going to listen. He's going to give you some feedback. We only listen to a verse and chorus of each song. We'll have the lyric in front of us so we can look ahead and see the lyrics. But just so we get to more songs, we're going to listen to verse, chorus. If Michael likes something and wants to hear more of it, he'll let me know, and we can get him a full copy of the song later. But we're just going to do verse, chorus tonight. So let's jump in. Why wait?
Awesome.
Ready.
Let's jump in. So first up, we have Slower Sand by Cole Kirchival. Here we go.
I threw your beach chair in the back. This old country boy's been packed since the cold of the winter time was here. No more stressed out conference calls, no more Carhartt overalls. Fill that hourglass with slower sand. Fry me up, some ocean dwelling creatures. Let my Ray-Bans fall, get a better look at your features. My soul's in its happy place when I got your hand. Fill that hourglass with slower sand.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Cool hook.
Dude, man. Yeah, good. I love coming out of the gate with something super cool, man. This is going to be one I'm going to want to hear again for sure. I think for me right off the bat, like I just love, like Clay just said, man, the hook is really interesting. I'm definitely a sucker for a great title. I think that's going to help it stick out, stand on top of the pile in pitches. Love the imagery. Love the vibe. I think you did a great job musically and melodically, kind of really matching the title and the concept of this song. I'm in. I'd like a copy of this one.
Awesome.
It seems like the kind of title that seems obvious, but I've never heard it.
Never.
Fill the hourglass with slower sand. Like it's and that's a lot of times part of what makes a good title is that when you hear it, it seems obvious, but we've never heard that before. So that's awesome.
That's it, man. Also love hearing the fiddle in the demo, bringing the fiddle back. Like I love hearing fiddle back, man. It's awesome.
Could that be placed in a TV show where they're looking for like an old time country song in the background or something, you think?
Yeah, you know, like I think like instrumentally that has for sure a vibe that can be pitched for sync, depending on obviously the show.
Yeah.
But I definitely think so.
Yeah, awesome. Great job, Cole. And if you wrote it by yourself, is that you singing? I don't know if you're down there, but great job for a solo write.
Awesome. Starting off strong tonight already. All right. Next up, let's go to Get You Back by Nathaniel DeLong.
Solo.
We used to saddle up for some Friday night drinking, and we'd shut down that corner bar. Before I knew it, you were picking up my tab, but the next time I'd get you back. Tonight I can't believe I'm raising one alone. Here's to the best cowboy I've ever known. I can give flowers for your grave, put old pictures in a frame. I can get into that truck and drive down memory lane. I can get a tattoo on my hand, listen to our favorite bands. I can get bourbon straight, cause most days that's what you have. But I can't get you back.
Yeah, man, nice job, Nathaniel, with the title. I really like how you repurposed it a few times just in that first verse and chorus, and I love how you approached the hook. I thought it was really smart, chorus wise, as far as like I can get flowers, I can get a tattoo, I can get bourbon, but I can't get you back. I think. For me, this one is close. Like I think it definitely has potential. It's I think something with the setup line could be a little bit stronger. Like that's what you had. I feel like you could dig a little deeper on that one. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I'm mostly going to let you comment tonight because I know they want to hear your feedback and they hear mine all the time in Songtown. But I felt like, why give away the fact that the person is passed on in the very first line of the chorus? Maybe save that for later and just make it, I can get you flowers on a something day or whatever, that just so we don't know until maybe a bridge or something later in the song is the reason you can't get them back is that they've passed away. And then I think that would build the song and build the story towards a big climax. But
yeah, I think it's great.
Just a lot right at the top of that chorus. It came in out of nowhere and it just kind of hit me like too much too soon. But that, take that for what it's worth.
I think it's a great point. I would tend to agree, and it looks as though this might be a guy to guy song. As here's the best cowboy I've ever known. So just I think along with what Clay, to piggyback off of what Clay said, I think I wonder if there's another substitute for flowers. That a guy would get to another guy that you don't quite realize that it's the type a memorial type song like this.
Like I can raise a glass and
love that
and toast to yesterday or something,
Yeah, but good work all in all. It looks to be another solo, right? Really nice job.
Yeah,
Awesome. Great. Let's move on. The next one we got is Friday Night Like This by Michael Dodd.
5 to 9 and working till the sun ain't shining. You've been on the grind way too much lately. Don't you wanna call the boss and tell him boss man was on the way, but I got lost, man, to lose a little time getting sedated. I got Jack and Jim just waiting. Buddy, I'm just saying, if you ain't bobbing out your bobber on that bad 40 pine, if you ain't front porch swinging, blaring Johnny singing along, if you ain't sweet tea and just being, doing nothing, feeling free and throwing a couple back, I gotta ask, are you doing okay? 'Cause we both know a day not wasted is a wasted day. Hey, 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 hey.
Nice. I think that was Linda's song.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It looks like those are the wrong lyrics. Sorry about that. That was
No,
Linda's.
no worries. From what I gathered, I really dug it, Linda. I thought that was really cool. Great vibes, man. The verse had a great, like melodically the whole way through. I was engaged for sure. Let's grab. You know what? Let's grab a copy of this one because I want to re-listen anyway. And I'll grab.
I like that hook at the end, the way that she turned it around. That was awesome.
It's cool.
Totally. Awesome. I'll get you a copy of that one. That was
Hey, hey,
that was
hey.
Linda, Steve Purcell, and Chris Sly.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Great group. Man, really fun.
That feels like it must have been one of our retreat songs, the Songtown Retreat.
Could be.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Hopefully this is the right song with the right lyric. This should be Gather the Gallows by Eddie Anthony.
I can hear the gallows gather, open for a sign to disappear like shadows on the cold and darkest nights. Can you feel the motivation hanging by a thread underneath the conversation? Choking on regret when the home what you had ain't coming back, it's gone. And everything that mama said was wrong. It's nothing like the movies or the songs. We all hum along, singing, I can hear the gallows gather, open for a sign, disappear like shadows.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's got some vibes and some mood on that one. Definitely, I mean, thinking about it for commercial country radio pitch is tricky. Like, it doesn't hit me as that, but it hits me as potentially something that would be like, you know, could be like a Zach Bryan influenced song, could also work for TV and film if it was produced out in a way that I think had some nice dynamics to it, some extra atmospherics.
I was gonna say that I think part of what you're feeling about the dynamics is every line of the verse. There's 8 lines there. Starts on a G. Then when we get to the chorus, they all start on a G, an octave down. It just feels like a whole song of starting on the G's on all those lines is not going to offer any melodic dynamics. So I think part of it is by the time you get to that chorus, man, I wish I could hear another note besides that G. I know it's an octave down, but it's still a G. And if you went somewhere else on that When the Home, I think that would help a lot, just because just feels like too much to me to start every line of a song on the same note.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was definitely kind of got burned at that point. But lyrically, I will say also, if you do decide, Eddie, to work up rework on the melody and do this thing up for TV and film, lyrically, you're really in a nice spot. I think maybe in the chorus, I would tend to shy away from a lyric like "everything that Mama said was wrong," even though it's a great line and I actually really like what it says. It might take you out of the running for a lot of placements, just because it's the word "mama" is pretty specific. Other than that, I think you got something really cool here. And Clay, that piano thing is awesome. That's pretty sick.
It is.
Yeah, man.
Rob said Clay's breaking out the piano tonight.
Yeah.
He's nifty. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have Crime Scene by Sophie Pecora.
Step right onto the crime scene, such a mess by my feet. Crowds of people outside, weeping at the sidelines. Officer is so sweet, leading me out gently. He thinks I could escape this place, but it's not helping. The caution tape around my heart, it wraps me up till I fall apart. You wouldn't dare to cross that mark, but it's invisible. Maybe if I put up a sign, keep out this danger here, no one would ever try to access my soul and fear. Such a fragile existence, all the love that I'm missing. I'm scared that you like me, 'cause my heart's still a crime scene. My heart's still a crime scene. Oh, investigators are.
That
Yeah.
hook melody is so good.
Man, really cool. Dude, this is a unique, I love the voice, Sophie, if that's you singing. Really, really cool, intriguing vocal style. And I feel like you're just Hook itself did a great job on that title, like My Heart's Still a Crime Scene. Love that idea. Now that would be what I would say as far as like with the songwriter hat on. With the publisher hat, I think this feels to me really like an artist song. Like,
Yeah.
it would be a tougher pitch in the country genre. I think I don't know quite who I would pitch this to. It's not jumping out at me right now. It's not jumping out as a wide pitch. I think there might be pitch angles in pop for sure, but this definitely feels to me like an artist song. And what I mean by that is it feels like you. If this is you singing it and this is a solo written song, it really feels like a unique style that's might be unique to your artistry.
And I also love that the second line of the chorus, the melody against the chord there, it was really cool. Like, it sounded very fresh. So
Yeah, man.
Totally.
Yeah, this is cool. I would take a copy of this one. I want to hear more of this song, and definitely, again, if this is Sophie's the artist on this one. Oh, she said okay, she did release this.
yeah, good
but
job.
could it
Sophie.
be pitched for sync/TV?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, somebody's driving away after a bad breakup, and this, My Heart's Still a Crime Scene, kind of like, are walking around after a breakup walking on the streets, and like I can just picture it.
Yeah,
And I don't think it's too specific a lyric to throw it out of sync. So I think it would be great in that.
I think you're right, especially the chorus. Like verse, verse might be a little specific in places, like officer and investigators and interrogating, but the chorus specifically is pretty broad and emotional based. I would say that if you're looking to do this for sync, I think it could be enhanced demo wise. I think it feels really great as is right now, but you might look to and I didn't hear the whole thing. I could hear that the drums came in second verse. So I'm assuming that it does build, but could be the kind of thing that could be great with strings, atmospherics, really dynamic builds in this. And I think it really could work for sync.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree about the officer line. Like, that's so specific, and I'm not sure what it means. So I think it would have a wider pitch without that line in there.
Awesome.
Great call. Agreed.
Really, really cool song, Sophie.
Yeah, great job. Now that I know it's released, I'm going to go stream that. All right. Next, we have When There's a Will by Nicole Craft and Steve Oliver.
My mother seems to have a knack for seeing right through a lie. She's tender and tough, has a way of always being right. That mama bear gonna be there every time that you call. She'll pick you up whenever you fall. And my better half can juggle 150 million things at a time, all while she's getting ready to start a 9 to 5. She loves everyone, yeah, she's steady and strong. Got a sharp mind, but don't show it off. Where there's a problem, a woman can solve it. Where there's an anxious heart, her words can calm it. And where there's an uphill climb, she'll find a way through it. 'Cause where there's a will, there's a woman. My Mima's got a cure.
That's pretty cool. Cool. Again, outside the box idea on this one. I love the play on that, familiar expression, and definitely really, really great ode to women in your life. Love the message. I think it's close for me. I think a few things like the verses back to back, it feels a little long getting to the chorus. I like all the setup, but that being said, it feels a little long getting to the chorus. And my ear would love maybe some stronger woman rhyme setups to really get that planted in my ear for when you drop the hook. Because it is kind of a cool surprise the way it's titled versus you leave out that there's a woman. I love that. So there's a surprise hook coming there.
You might even leave it out of that first line, like where there's a problem, she's going to solve it.
That's cool.
Because I felt like it would just really save the woman for the end. It would pay off a little harder.
Love that. Love that idea. Yeah, I think this is really close. It just feels like I just don't totally know who I would pitch this to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really cool. I think you're pretty close on this, though, guys.
I like that the hooks tonight are all hooks I have not heard before, so good job.
We're getting some unique stuff tonight.
Let me say this, just for a commercial, like just to get this, if we look at it through the commercial lens for a second, and I'm looking at this as like, because it's a cool song, but I'm like wanting you to get more leverage out of it here. I wonder if you take the second verse and kind of trim that down a little bit into a pre that could get you to that chorus quicker and really lead into the chorus melodically. You know, with still, I love the idea of like the first one's the mother, the second one's your better half. Like, so
you might even do the whole first verse before the chorus, the mom, and then save the better half for this after the chorus.
Yeah.
And then make each verse specific to one of them. I think that might be a little tighter too for a commercial.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's good.
I like it. Great job.
Awesome.
Strong songs tonight, y'all.
They really are. All right. This next one is Shine by Kevin Kenny.
By what they said, the little voice inside your head repeats it. When you're down, the light sounds true. The shadows in your eyes say you believe it. Look inside beneath the dark. There's stardust in your heart.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna talk about this one through the sync lens. I think that's what would be closest for me. And I think it's got, like, title wise, great. The word shine could be really good for advertisements. It could be good for promos, in-show placements, all that stuff. I think track wise and melodically, it wasn't grabbing me the way I wanted it to, where the way I know where the bar is for TV and film with sync. But I think lyrically, you have some great stuff in here, like that. It's your life, it's your right to love yourself, to be alive. Like, that feels really kind of like ad focused sync to me. Things that could work for branding. I feel like a lot of brands would like that messaging. But I think something about maybe the descending melody on Shine wasn't as you know, uplifting. Not to like say the opposite of what you did, but I think if you did that melodically, it might help that chorus really lift.
Yeah, and I like the "Be You, Be Beautiful." I had a song once that was the title: "Be You, Be Beautiful, You."
That's cool.
I always loved that neat little trick of "Be You, Be Beautiful."
I mean, that's like, now that you mention it, man, that could be you could use that whole section, like do a whole section on that.
A post chorus.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great
It's got
job,
promise.
Kevin.
And I think also that 80 cent opening also can throw it into the sync world, because that's kind of popular in that world. So I think it has promise to go into sync.
Yeah, we just got
tweaked.
just got a brief, no kidding, I think it was yesterday, looking for 80s stuff. So, you know what? I don't know. Why don't you send it to me? It might be worth me sending it to our sync team anyway, because I know in our catalog we don't have a lot of 80s stuff to send. So if you have, make sure you do have a full wave mix of this and an instrumental. But I would take a copy so I could send it to our sync team, because we just got the brief yesterday. So
awesome.
You can send that to Kevin, send that to Dana@songtown.com.
Yes, and I will get it over to Michael.
Thank you.
Great job.
Dana, if possible, if you like from the requests from tonight, maybe separate that one out just so I have that I can just forward on.
Will do.
Awesome. Well, fingers crossed, Kevin.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, this next one is Still Hear Your Echo by Sham Sundra.
Stars up in the sky will all crash down. Gravity will show no mercy. Miracles heaven sent go bad somehow. Drowning in an ocean of thirsty. Always, forever. Always a never-ending love. Always, forever. How great, gone infected love. Can't break this addiction, you're too far away. I feel the heat quicken, hear your echo, your echo. Can't find your religion, I'm slipping sideways. I try not to listen, hear your echo, your echo. Staring out a window pane, waterfall.
Yeah, Sham, you always have interesting stuff.
Yeah, man, that's definitely interesting. I think really like haunting and like I love that. Try not to listen to your echo.
Yeah,
Can't find your religion. Flipping through. I mean, there's a lot of cool lines in here. I love that was a really interesting line. Drowning in an ocean of thirsty. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the only reason I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. The only reason I'm going to pass on this is because I feel like even if I could do something with this for TV and film, it might be just a really limited pitch for TV and film, and I just don't know that I have I don't know if I could be pitching this super actively, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Enough to sign it outside song. But really cool stuff.
Awesome. Great job. And lots of sync stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have I'm Awake by Jordan Hemingway.
And a lot of solo rights. I love it.
There is.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool, guys.
It's late at night and my head's on fire. I'm hearing voices, my eyes are wide. I'm awake and I don't know why. See, I was hoping you'd change your mind. We've been here about 1,000 times. Now I'm awake and I don't know why. Oh, I'm awake and I don't know why. Up to the window and through the blinds, everything's still in the cold moonlight. I'm a slave to the night. I'm awake and you're on my mind. But if you don't believe me, I will make you see. 'Cause I'll be stuck here in my mind until you say be free.
Great voice if that's you singing, Jordan. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Yes. Super cool vocal.
Great. dude. Totally agree. Love the voice, man. It's so. I just caught a comment, Cameron, Babylon. I was hearing David Gray a little bit too. It's funny you mentioned that.
I know I did too.
Oh, Rob says Drew Holcomb would crush this. Yeah.
Totally. I think I'm just trying to think about like what I could do with this. It's a little tricky pitch wise. I think it's got a lot of stuff going on that could be cool for, like, possibly cool for TV and film. Groove wise, it gets a little bit out there as far as like, I don't know, like, placement wise exactly where it would land, but I think if it stayed a little bit more like it was in the first and second verse and just kind of had a slower build to it, more dramatic build to it, production wise, I think it could find a home for more so looking at it for in-show placements. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, great voice. I'd love to hear some more of Jordan's stuff for sure if he's releasing music.
Yeah, it was almost like it was jarring the way the drum groove came in because it felt happy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so I think the song is there. I think the production is kind of getting in the way a little bit for it. It's cool. I like it, but it just didn't seem like it fit the mood of the first couple of verses, and then the drums are all of a sudden happy, and I was like, wait a minute, how am I supposed to feel here?
I think you nailed it, Clay.
Totally. But great voice.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Awesome.
All right. Next up, we have here by Drew Langdon, Carrie Latham, and Roberta Smithline.
A co-write. Wow.
Yay.
Nice.
Oh my God.
All right.
Piano man's playing tiny dancer. There's a crowd, but it don't matter. It's just us and our red wine buzz, doing what it does like a black tie drug. Got me thinking about the what comes after. Letting go and let the night just happen. I don't wanna leave, baby, what if we get a hotel key just to take an elevator? Watch the doors close real slow, falling all over each other. Every floor we go, leaving perfect strangers, wanting some of what we got. So lost in each other, we forget to get off this. Elevator's got its own kind of magic.
Yeah. That's smooth.
That was
Great
cool, man.
vocal, Drew. That's awesome.
Drew, man, laying it down. We just had Drew in the Edge group. Actually, this crew too. I love this crew. They've been turning around some great stuff. And the production, I think, was Drew as well. It usually is. Really good stuff, man. I mean, I think we all felt the melody on that elevator line was awesome. Really fresh, really cool. Like, to me, definitely could be a pop pitch. I definitely want a copy of this. I think it could be one of those things that you could even pitch just the chorus as a start. Yeah. And I love all the verse lines too. You guys did a great job lyrically on this thing too. It's hitting for me.
Michael, you brought up the Edge group. For those of you that don't know what Songtown's about, what we do is we train writers to write their best songs, and then when the songs are ready, we hook you up with industry people like Michael. So our Edge groups get together once a month. If you apply and get in the group, you meet with a publisher once a month, and you get target rights. Michael or one of the other publishers, whoever's group you're in, will tell you, hey, these 3 artists are cutting right now, they need material, and you write songs for that. So if you nail an assignment, you could get it signed and get it pitched. But it's really a great way to train yourself to write for other artists and to make connections in the industry. So if you're not a member of Songtown, check it out. We'd love to have you involved with what we do.
Totally. Carrie, I see in the chat, did you see, Michael?
Yeah.
We picked this after seeing Keith Urban getting off an elevator on Instagram.
That's awesome. Hey, and by the way, I mean, this not that far maybe from a Keith Urban pitch.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly.
he's doing progressive stuff, so this could be a good one.
I could see him liking that vocal lick enough to maybe want to give that a try.
Totally.
So do you think it's too pop for a country pitch?
For a lot
Not
of
for
country
Keith.
pitches,
Not
not
for
for
Keith.
Keith though. Yeah, you're totally right.
Awesome.
I think it actually could be a good Keith Urban pitch, and maybe a few others, but it's maybe in the country world it's a little limited, but like I still think there's a lot of pop pitches for this too.
I mean, that chorus, maybe Thomas Rhett could sing.
Yep.
Sing it.
Totally.
It's a great call. Oh, especially the new Thomas Rhett stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Good call.
Awesome. Great job, you guys. All right, this next one is Bartender by Zach Romanoff.
Turning heads, making friends as we roll in. Start a tab at the bar and we're golden. Long legs, stepping out of hot cars. Big bills, filling up the tip jars. Champagne, popping all the bubbles. She'll take one, I'll have a double. When the bottle's down, bring us all another round. You could be my bartender when I'm on a love bender. When I'm low on alcohol, you could be my final call. When I'm down to my last drop, you always top me up. I'll be a big spender. You could be my bartender.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's definitely fun. I think it's close for me as far as like pop pitches go. I think it's definitely cool. It's got a thing, and really nice. I want to commend you on the effort on all the lyrical stuff. Like really great pop imagery on this. Long legs stepping out of hot cars. Really cool, interesting line there. Also, another one that got me was the when I'm on a love bender. Love that idea, and I'll be a big spender. That's pretty funny. Like good, interesting rhymes. I think it's just not totally blowing me away as far as like what we're pitching already in the pop space. So that I think you're close though. You're keep going with this thing. You're doing great, especially as a solo write.
Totally. Clay, thoughts on this one? Should we move on to the next one?
I agree with everything Michael said. Something about the verse that I just felt like it felt too obvious as far as the melody. Like it just, I loved the chorus. I thought that really nailed it, but something I just wasn't quite buying in that verse melodically. It just felt like I've heard it so many times, and I just wish it had something a little more interesting in that verse to keep it rolling.
That's a great point.
Totally. All
So
right.
fun though, really
It
fun.
is fun. Next up, we have Yesterday's Flowers by Lisa Simmons.
I like that title.
Roadside daisies in hand, got off work a little early. By the time that you got home, I said, baby, don't you worry. Dinner's on the table, I've been working hard and sitting here wondering how the hell it got to this. Cause there's 2 wine glasses next to 2 melted candles next to 2 half cleaned off plates. And the fire's down to ashes and I'm halfway through a handle of the good stuff you didn't take. When you pulled off, I begged you to stop, but we've been going round and round for hours. Today's reminder, you left me behind you, is this empty house and yesterday's flowers.
Behind me. And I'm just reading, I'm just catching up. Some really cool stuff in this song. I don't know that it was totally hit me yet. Roadside daisy in my hand, got off of work a little early. By the time that you got home, I said, baby, don't you worry. I've been working. Okay. I'm sitting here wondering how to help.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, that verse, to where I love where the chorus got to, but
yeah.
So he brought the flowers yesterday, and now he's looking at them as saying, "How did we get here?" Right?
Totally. Today's reminder, you left me behind you. Is this empty house and yesterday's flowers? Okay, yeah. Something just I think it's more of a lyric thing, like vibe wise, it's really cool. Like really like, and what do you think? I think melodically, like it had me engaged, you know?
Yeah. No, it was great. I really loved the melody and the chorus a lot. I was just confused lyrically, that first verse, what was going on. I think if you clean that up, everything else I loved about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Good work, Lisa.
All right. Now, let me see. I don't know if this is wasted day again. If it is, we will skip.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's move on. You already have a copy of that one.
Nice.
And while I get this next one pulled up, people in the chat are asking, how can we submit for next time? This is open to Songtown members and non-Songtown members.
Yes. And we post about that. Here's the easiest way. If you go to songtown.com, and on that page you can find where to submit for our email list. We email out, or you can go to the community tab on this YouTube page, and we always post the information there with the sign up link there as well. So subscribe to the channel or subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Either way, you'll get on the list.
Yes. All right. Next up, we have Big Stage by Timothy Ash and Jason Stevens.
I was born on a poor dirt road back in the summer of 1974, in the middle of the storm. My daddy worked for the local coal mine. My mom stayed at home and tried to raise me right. She showed me the light. Got my first guitar when I was 10. Played it till my fingers bled. I started off playing local shows till the man came and said it's time to hit the road. Boy, it's time to go. Now I'm standing on a big stage under bright lights, play a different city every single night.
Yeah. So great. I mean, a lot of cool production in that thing, man. A lot of nice build on that song. Great, some really great singing too, and interesting guitar work. Definitely had me going. I was looking in. I caught some of the chat too because I was totally feeling the Bon Jovi vibes on this one.
For sure.
Especially when that chorus kicks in. Now, that being said, it's tricky because this kind of falls in for me a little bit of no man's land as far as pitching goes. Like the verse, it takes a while to get to that chorus. So I think in that, maybe in that Bon Jovi format back in the day, I think you had a little bit more freedom as far as being able to be lengthy like that. But at the same time, when it gets to the chorus, I don't know that I'm really like sold on the hook. And don't know if I'm totally sold on what it says. I like the idea of this, and it feels really like, you know, triumphant and that kind of like old school rock mentality of like, I'm rocking, I got $1 million, I'm a badass, you know, all that stuff like that, you know, really works for that genre. But I just don't know what I could do with it now. And it doesn't hit me as sync either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the title's Big Stage, which happens at the beginning of the chorus, but to me, that's not it's not really feeling like the big hook of the song yet. Even Time to Go Home might be a better hook for that. The other thing, I like the vibe and everything. I agree it takes so long by today's standard to get to the chorus that it would be a hard pitch. If this is on your own album, Timothy and Jason, if you guys are a band, it's on your own album, then it works for that. One thing in the second verse, just looking ahead, when you go, when I was a kid, I had this big dream. It feels like you're taking me back now again instead of keeping the momentum of the song forward. So you might just start off, drop that line and start off with something about life ain't always what it seems to be. Start the verse out there because you've already gone back in the first verse to when you started, when you were a kid on that poor dirt road. I wouldn't go back because it feels like you're just, as Marty Dotson says, feels like you're backing me up, man.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean, and I think just to, again, what Clay was saying, like if we could just, if you honed in the hook a little bit more, really figured out what this thing was, I mean, you can clearly see what it's about. It's a well-developed storyline. Just would love to have that summed up in a chorus in a way that really drives it home.
Totally. It's almost like the beginning of the chorus, I was like amped. And then it was kind of a downer with nothing to back it up of, wait, why are you going home? Wait, we're just on the big stage.
Yes.
I like what it's trying to do. It just isn't refined enough to make me feel it when I get to the end of that chorus. But I like what you're going for there.
Great vocal, too.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Happy-ish by Bella Garland.
That's
Hey,
cool.
Bella. Bella was just in my masterclass.
Oh, nice.
A bouquet of poppies sitting on my table. The cards sound extend. Showed up this morning just because he loves me and he wanted me to know. And there is no reason I shouldn't be over the moon, hung up on you. I'm not feeling the kind of wrapped up rush that I used to. I'm happy-ish, but is there more than this? We're perfect on paper.
Yeah, really cool title here. I love, and I think you did a great job at supporting that hook too. Like, I think it's a very relatable feeling for a lot of people who are dating, and just, it's a great way to say, I'm not with the one, but in a more interesting way. Melodically, I feel like it's almost there. Like, I like your verse has some good space in it. The pre has a little too much space in the beginning, and then it gets ramping up to the chorus, which is nice. The melody on Happy-ish is going to be the trickiest part of this one, because if we weren't reading the lyric, I don't know if I would know what you were saying. And I think lastly, the setup to the hook, I like that. I feel like a faker. Actually, I like the whole chorus. I'm happy-ish, but is there more than this? We're perfect on paper. Feel like a faker. Love all that, because I can't admit I'm happy-ish. I think there's a better setup. I think there's a better setup to the hook at the end of that chorus. That's what my gut is saying. But I think you got something cool here for sure. And I appreciate the simple work tape on this one.
Yeah. And Bella, the only thing I heard melodically is the opening to the pre-chorus is very similar, same melody range and little pickups. It felt very similar to me as the chorus when the chorus came in. So I always like in a pre-chorus to really have it different than the chorus, so that the chorus can launch into this fresh new kind of thing. So you might look at your pre-chorus and just try to get that as far away from the opening of that chorus as possible. But I liked so much about it. I really love the chorus a lot.
One other thought that I had too lyrically is that I wonder if this would be a broader pitch if it was almost like a we thing, as opposed to the guys, the significant other is sending the flowers and you're not really into the other person.
Yes.
But maybe it's like it's a more of a we thing, because it could lend itself to a cool duet too.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Almost like
because we can't admit that we're happy-ish. And then you could see two people on stage both going through this turmoil, and they can't say it to each other, but yet they're singing this song. I think that would be very cool.
That would be cool.
It's cool. It's got, I love that title. Really, really good idea here.
And since you mentioned it, Michael, that, the simple work tape, we got a question in one of the submissions, like, how do you know which songs to take and fully produce and which to kind of just keep in this state until until their opportunity kind of presents itself?
It's a great question. I love, this is a good example of a song that, if the work tape sounds like this, we can really make an easy assessment of the song. Vocals, it's a clear vocal, piano part is nice. It gives us a really good idea of the song. I think, in some cases, a demo, we were talking about this last night too, like a demo can sometimes, really help an okay song feel better, but a demo could actually even make a great song feel worse if the demo is not great. I remember last night we were talking about that, Clay. So in this kind of stage, I feel like, I would definitely, before you go and take it to full out demo land, I would get some good feedback on it. Your trusted folks around you. If everyone's feeling pretty good about the song and jumping up and down about it, then I think it'd be worth a good demo.
But that being said, a ballad that's melodic, and you're telling a story, that can often get away with a more stripped down production or even a piano vocal. We were just talking about Keith Urban earlier, and Jason Duke had a Keith Urban cut, and they had pitched the full demo around town and nobody cut it. So they did a version that was stripped down, I think, with just piano and acoustic guitar and vocal, and Keith heard that and cut it. So
Wow.
I think a lot of times if it's more of a feeling song and not a happy, rowdy, party song, you can get away with a stripped down work tape, as opposed to a rowdy club song where you need that energy of the demo to really get across what it could be. So there's a lot of factors. Also, who you're playing it for. If you were to play this for a producer, they can hear the production. But maybe if you're playing it for a young A&R person at a label, maybe they don't have that ability to hear it. Maybe they need a fuller production to hear it. So that can even play into it. Who's going to be listening to the song when you pitch it?
Yeah.
And
I think
why not do two versions? Why not do your demo and then tell the engineer, hey, pull everything out except for the piano and acoustic guitar and vocal, and then you have a work tape version that sounds really good as well.
I mean, and just to talk about that a little bit more, Clay, remember like 10 years ago or more, it was like demo wars, right? Like everyone's demo had to be full blown. The record, it was like my demo is better than yours. Like it was what everyone was shooting for. Now I feel like it's more about like the vibe of it.
Yes.
Does it make you feel good? Does it have a really good vocal, something intriguing, something compelling that makes you want to keep listening? It could be as simple as an acoustic vocal, but if the vocal's great and it sounds, it might even not even be perfect, because it's probably not going to be perfect actually. It's probably going to have its little idiosyncrasies and little flaws and stuff here and there that your listeners are going to actually love. I know for a fact that one of our pluggers, she sometimes falls in love with the work tape, and we turn the demo in, and she rather pitch the work tape. And I actually know some A&R folks that actually really love listening to work tapes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they just capture that magic in the room the day of, and it's hard to replicate.
And we were talking last night, Michael. We'll get back to the songs in just one second, but I think this is important. We have this course that we do where we bring in label recording artists, and Songtown members write for those artists, and they submit a chorus. So week one of this course, there was a writer, she didn't feel comfortable about her own voice. So she put an AI vocal onto an AI track, and she sent me the original work tape she did, and she sent me the AI version, and it was definitely her melody and her lyrics. So, but the artist did not go for the AI version. So I encouraged her the next week. I said, you really have a cool sound. She didn't have the greatest voice in the world, but it was vibey, and it put across the feeling of the lyric. And so I said, please, this week, post your work tape. She did that. She got second runner-up that week.
Wow.
And it's because she had a vibe and feeling that often when we would go in a demo studio and it got produced, all of a sudden it was slick sounding, it sounded overproduced. The AI version sounded like that. It lost all the emotion of that original work tape. What artists are looking for when they hear songs is some magic. So if you can create a magic vibe and create the feeling on your work tape, that's more important than feeling like you have to do a big fancy demo that's going to cost you money.
Totally.
Great.
I've had number one songs cut off of work tapes where I just sang into my iPhone. So it's, there's no rules. And I've had songs cut that had full-blown demos. But you kind of have to go with what sounds magical.
Totally.
It's awesome.
All right. We got like 15 minutes left with you, Michael, right?
Yeah.
And then
Let's hear some
we're
more.
bringing in Tennessee.
Yes.
Listen to more.
Here's some more songs. All right. This next one is By the Book by Lee Moss and Jamie Anderson.
Good books on the table, covered with dust and leather bound. Ain't cracked the spine of old King James since she left town. The photo on the nightstand might kill me if I look. So she lays face down by the whiskey, by the pills, by the book. By the book I used to read, and I was just a kid. The one who warned you not to do all the things I did. She'd still be here with me if I read it like I should. I would have died when I stopped living by the book.
That's cool, man. Really cool tune. Man, again, this one feels like it's got that artistry thing to it. It's got that definitely Zach Bryan thing. Also some great chords. Love it. Went places that, I did not think it was going to go, like on the lines like ain't cracked the spine on the old King James, like just really good chord choices, which enhanced the melody for me a lot. Also, some really cool dark imagery on this one. Like I love that line. Her photo on the nightstand might kill me if I look.
Nice.
So she lays face down by the whiskey, by the pills, by the book. That's freaking great.
It's so
Like,
cool.
Such a great image and sad as hell. It's like, so I don't know, man. I want a copy of this one just because I kind of want to listen to it again. I don't know what I don't know what I'd do with it or who I would pitch it to, but it's good. It's really good.
Awesome. And
that's
their
what you want.
question, their question that they had with this was, is there room for songs with heavy subject matter like this right now in the, current country Americana genre?
I think there really is, especially like, with folks who are, like you said, like I think we're in a much darker place in country than we were. After this is kind of like the post bro era is what I'm calling it. And we're definitely, if bro country was hair metal, then we're in grunge right now, right?
Yeah.
So this is a great example. By the way, I will say that line, not to dodge that question, I think there is room. So I wanted to make sure that was clear. But I can't tell what's the better hook. Our love died when I stopped living by the book, or so she lays face down by the whiskey, by the pills, by the book.
I know. Yeah.
Like that could be the end of the chorus.
To me, she lays face down by the whiskey, by the book. That's such a strong image. It's almost like I would want to take it and build a chorus around that.
Yes.
But I like it. That's my philosophy is usually if I write in a verse and a chorus, I'll go, okay, what's the strongest part of this? And then I try to center everything else around that. But man, that's a killer line.
Really, man.
Her
And
photo on the nightstand might kill me if I look. So I mean, that's the end of a killer chorus.
that's the end
Those
of the chorus.
3 lines, yes.
It's gotta be. I was just gonna say the same thing. And like you might even be able to swap some of the stuff you have in the chorus into the verse so that you could save it for the end of the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just a beautiful 3 lines that could finish out a chorus. Just killer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man,
Good
and I'm
job.
telling you, I'll take it as is, but I think I'll definitely want to double down on what we're talking about right now. I would love to see you guys experiment with that because I think it would make the pitch even strong. It would make the pitch undeniable so that if we pitch this thing, obviously it's not the easiest cut subject matter wise. It's not the easiest pitch, but for the right artist at the right time, that kind of chorus could sell this thing.
Yeah. Nice
So
work.
true. That's great. All right.
Man, look at the second verse too. My ring was just to remind me all the vows I took.
I know.
Got rust next to the whiskey by the pills by the book. That's great too, man. Good stuff.
That could be the end of the second chorus.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, there's good stuff. All right. Next up, we have Thin Pink Line by Robert Randolph.
It don't get any easier watching her social media, living her best life, seeing her glow up, taking her FSU free right now. There's no us. Throwing some new guy for good measure. It looks like she's never been better. But I've never been better. No, I've never gotten over her. This pain is everlasting, too hard to push past it. But if she were to ask me, I'd tell her I've never been better.
Cool. I'm just curious, Lisa, if you hear that sounds like an AI vocal to me. Not that that's good or bad. It's just glitchy in a lot of places. So it was either heavily auto-tuned, but it was just a little distracting. Like I would think about tweaking that vocal on it so it wasn't so glitchy.
Yeah, totally agree. Because I think you got a really cool hook there. That's cool. I like the the Nashville flip on it. Feels nice.
Totally.
Smart writing. Nice use of it a few times, even before the one time before the chorus kicks in. Yeah, good job on this. If I was going to say the same thing, Clay, it felt I don't know if it is or not, but it did feel like an AI demo. I even heard it a little bit in the verses, like some of the choices that it made. Could be. Maybe I'm wrong, but might be worth doing something a little different with that.
Yeah, because it just feels like the kind of vocal where you just want it really real and believable. And if it wasn't AI, it was heavily auto-tuned, and it's just not that kind of tune. And I love what the chorus is saying. I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more believable vocal.
Yeah, like it's bringing up a song that I can't put my finger on it, but like a song from, maybe like between 10, 15 years ago. It feels like something that I've heard before, but I almost wonder too, like if this thing could be faster. you know what I mean? It just felt like it dragged a little bit, where it could have that kind of like, it's kind of like a sad idea, but also like at the end of the chorus, it's that juxtaposition. So you could make it like a little bit more like upbeat and almost feel good, but it got that, you know, undertone of being a sad song.
Yeah, that's a cool idea to go with that hook.
You know, you could also possibly have more rhymes. This pain is everlasting, too hard to put past it. But if she was asking, I'd tell her, like, if you wanted to throw one more rhyme in there.
That's great. Great. Good
Awesome.
stuff, y'all.
Yeah, we've had some good songs tonight.
I mean, yeah, it's really, really great stuff, man. I would have to say this is probably like one of the best feedback sessions I've done. You know, just
Yes.
song to song.
You guys
Totally.
are really, really delivering tonight. I love it. Well, Michael, it's great seeing you again. I know I just saw you last night, but it's always great to see you 2 nights in a row.
Same.
So, for those of you that don't know Michael, he's one of the publishers in our Edge groups in Songtown, and he's just a great guy to get to know. So we're lucky to have him. And let's bring up Tenasie.
Thanks,
All
y'all.
right. Thanks, Michael.
Have a good one.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We are so good. We've been hearing a lot of good songs. We got some more to listen to, so we're super
Awesome.
excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. Excited to hear them.
All
Awesome.
right. Before we get started, Tenasie, just tell everybody like what company you're with and just some little nuggets about you.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Tenasie Courtright. I work with Jody Williams Songs. We are an independent publishing company, joint ventured with Warner Chappell. I've been with them for 2.5 years now, and I work as the creative manager over there. And it's a great roster of talent. We do a lot of this every day where we listen to songs. We try to find places for them to land and pitching songs and just helping our writers develop. And it's been a great time working with y'all here at Songtown and meeting all the wonderful songwriters and people in this community and hearing some great stuff and just getting to know a lot of people who love writing and music as much as I do. So it's a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Shall we keep it going, Clay?
Let's do it.
All right. So this next song is I Think I Know by Neil Newton. And he said in his submission that this was an old song he'd gotten demoed in Nashville quite a while ago and was wondering, is it time to move on from it or could it stand a chance in today's market? Let's take a listen.
Promises lay broken, but the words remain unspoken on your lips. And these empty walls beside me silently remind me what I've missed. I called you and your mom picked up the phone. And if I heard you whisper to her you weren't home, I think I know, I think I see why the only thing you left was a memory. My little light that came undone when I caught a glimpse of who I had become. So can you hide the truth and hope that it won't show? I think I know. It's a cold day in October.
Cool.
Go for it, Tenasie.
Awesome. Well, I think the demo, first of all, sounds fantastic. I think obviously that, you have a great working demo there. It complements like just the story you're telling here really well. It's a beautiful story. Yeah, definitely heart touching for sure. I feel like I get a little confused in the chorus. I'm trying to read it back as I'm listening, but kind of like who you're talking to, and a lot of it's like, I think I know, I think I see, why the only thing you left is a memory. It's a little vague for me to kind of grab onto. I like the details you kind of lay out in the first verse, and it tees it up well, but I kind of get a little lost there for a second. I don't know if that's just me, but I was trying to like go back and be like, wait, okay, what do you think that you know, and what do you think that you see? You know what I mean? But that's the only part that kind of lost me a little bit there as the chorus kicked in. Just for some feedback there, but
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's almost like the second verse would need to go into more about these things that I know to help out, to beef up that chorus. But yeah, I think I know, I think I see. It just needs to be a little stronger, exactly what you're trying to say at the top of that chorus. And then I think that'll clean up a lot of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times the listener needs to just be like, a lot of times it's hard to keep their attention, but not just for that reason, but just to kind of like really let them know what you're talking about and not to be too vague about it. But of course you could, like Clay said, just kind of give some more, beef that up a little bit in the second verse, or kind of get people to go back and understand what you're talking about in the chorus. But yeah.
Yeah, and even if it was more about her, like you were saying, like, I think I know what you don't say. Why, you make it more out there instead of so much about me and my little lies. My little lies I tell myself. It just, everything needs to be a little cleaner and clearer, I think. There's a lot of promise here to the idea. I like it.
Yeah, totally a great idea. And I see where you kind of like, you probably were right in the verses and even the bridge, and got a little more descriptive there, and kind of let the chorus maybe intentionally be a little bit more loose. But I think it's just kind of tough if we're talking about this fitting in today's market. And just from my experience, of course, and what I feel like would work, it just would need to be a little bit more clear. I love the different suggestions that Clay just gave. I think that would be a little stronger.
Totally. Awesome.
Next up.
All right. Next up, we have Forever One Day at a Time by Chantel Wharton.
We thought love was all about the highs, chasing dreams beneath wide open skies. But no one told us about the lows, the quiet battles only love knows. There were nights we almost let it go, hearts heavy, moving slow. But in your eyes I found my place, a steady light in a restless space. You whispered, baby, we'll make it through. I said forever starts with me and you. It's not the rush, it's the steady climb, loving you one day at a time. Forever isn't built in a single breath, it's the moments we choose to fight to the death. Through every tear, every uphill climb, we're building forever, one day at a time. It's the way we stay when the road gets rough, the little things that keep us tough. No fairy tales, just love that shines forever, one day at a time. Forever, one day at a time. The mornings start with coffee and a smile.
So pretty. I love this the melodies in here, and that just like, they definitely pop. This is like such another great sounding demo that you've got here, and definitely has that energy. I think I sometimes, I don't know if this is like the commercial country lane that I live in, but I'm like, I want the chorus to get there sooner. I feel like some of the first verse is a little bit redundant. Like you can maybe even cut it in half and kind of do the pre-chorus, move everything up a little bit and get us to the chorus a little quicker, is what I was feeling listening through. But really, really pretty melodies, and you kind of switch up the melody at the right time, you know, just to kind of keep the attention there. But yeah, I think getting to the chorus a little faster would be nice.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing, Chantel, I will say is that a lot of the lines were starting with a few pickup notes before the downbeat. I really like in songs where every line is not doing that. So I would think about in your verse coming in after the downbeat, and then that way when you come in the chorus before the downbeat, it's just adds a little bit more intensity, and it'll keep the listener's attention a little more. I love everything else you're doing with the melody, but that's just like a little sticking point. If you listen to Taylor Swift or all the writers that get just hit after hit after hit, that's one thing I feel like they pay a lot of attention to, is not starting every line on the same beat of the bar. Or at least not starting sections off the same way. So if your verse comes in before the downbeat, you don't do it in the chorus. You know, so are you do it way before the downbeat in the chorus. You just got to shift the momentum somehow from different sections. But yeah, it was great melody stuff going on in there.
I love those points. I was just going to add too, something that we talked about recently is like radio, a lot of pop music or just like kind of commercial music. They love lullabies. And if you think about it, like something that you're doing with your melody, it kind of has that feeling there. So it's not, you know, obviously a lullaby. It's not like a classic lullaby, but you have those melodies that are built in. And I think Clay makes some great points
Totally.
on that. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Awesome. We lost Clay. Hopefully he'll come back. Let's move on to the next song. We got My Sunday Blues by Elliot Garfias. Clay, you're back.
Had to change
Clay.
my battery camera, my camera battery.
Don't you look at me with those eyes. I can't sleep with you always on my mind. My mind. Don't you text me up, not your time. I can tell that our lips would fit just right. Just right. Well, I don't mean to be dramatic, but I think I'm in love with you, and I can't see myself without it. Baby, you take away my Sunday blues, Sunday blues, my blues, Sunday blues.
Fun. I love that one. That's a lot of great energy. I love when a song is titled like My Sunday Blues, and then it's just like this super upbeat, positive thing. It's kind of like, you don't, just by reading the title, I wouldn't necessarily think that this song would sound like that. So that's always a cool little twist there. I feel like I'm reading into the second verse, but I feel like I kind of want some part of the, like, I know it's so like, you know, this first person character is saying like, you don't look at me with those eyes. I'm so in love with you, and you take away my Sunday blues. I want like the other person to give like a little something back. I don't know. I feel like some kind of like maybe it's like more romantic. It's not just like one-sided, but if that's kind of what you're going for, then of course, you know, disregard that comment. But that's just something I was kind of feeling like I wanted it to be a little bit back back and forth kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, some give and take in there.
Some give and take in there. Maybe you take, yeah.
Yeah, and the second verse starts off with the dramatic, which you start the chorus off. I would save the dramatic for the chorus,
Yeah.
and then take it out of that second verse so that it just is something exclusive to the chorus.
Totally. Paul says you could replace it, forgive me if I'm too romantic, in the second verse.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you could.
Yeah. I like that.
The chorus was fun. It felt like something that maybe could be in a sync placement or something, that fun, bouncy chorus.
Totally. Totally. I feel like it's cool too that it like there's also something to it being like you're saying don't mind me, I'm too dramatic. Sorry, I'm too dramatic. Like sounding kind of crazy, about this person. Like it's coming across well. Like it's a fun, lighthearted thing that you got going.
Yep.
Awesome.
I like it.
And Elliot had a question too that he included. He said, how can I as a producer get my songs to bigger artists? Curious your take on that question.
Well, one way, and Elliot, I'm not sure what genre you're in, but in Songtown, we have edge groups where you can work with a publisher each month and write towards targeted artists. And so that's an excellent way because you get to work with the publisher. And so that would be one of my suggestions. I mean, there's a lot of services online that like they'll advertise so-and-so is looking for songs. My experience, and I don't want to diss anybody, but my experience in the music business is labels and artists and producers aren't sitting around going, let's call that pitch service and see what songs they have. It's more about relationships. So they trust certain pluggers, certain publishers, and so I think it's important that you get into developing relationships with publishers, or producers, or artists. In Songtown, the artist Gail met Sarah Davis, and they wrote ABCDEFU, which was the biggest song in the world 2 years ago. They just met in Songtown, an artist
That's awesome.
and a producer, an artist and a songwriter, and they came up together. So while oftentimes you're saying, how can I get my songs to bigger artists? Well, a lot of times those artists already have their camps of who they're writing with. And so writing with people around you, gives you the opportunity to find cool artists to work with and rise up together.
Awesome. That's great advice. All right. Let's move on. We got the next one. It's called I Can't Live Without You by Ken Busby Jr.
From the first moment I knew you were the one. Underneath those stars where our love first begun, we were just two hearts chasing dreams so high. But we didn't know forever was written in the sky. 'Cause I can't live without you, it's true. Every breath, every moment, I need you. Through highs and lows, I'll always hold you near. I can't live without you, my love, my dear. Life threw us challenges, tested.
So sweet, so country. I love it. One thing that kind of jumped out at me right away is, I don't know, when the song starts with like the word from the first moment, like, I'd rather you like flip underneath those stars and like start with something like that, like a little stronger. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like grammatically not going to know the word for that, but when it's like from the moment, it just feels like a little, it's not such a strong start to me. I feel like starting kind of flipping those would be a little bit better. That was one that kind of stood out to me right off the bat, but I love like what you're saying here. It's a very sweet love story. I feel like you've got these little like every breath, every moment I need you, like these little repetition kind of things where, you know, I don't know if ending the chorus with my love, my dear is the strongest choice. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like you know, I feel like maybe if there was a way to, and I know you're rhyming up there with the word near, so I see what you did there. It was cute, but I don't know if that like punches me completely, like feels really strong there, but I don't know. I love what you're saying here. It's a very sweet love song, and I feel like those kinds of songs make a lot of sense in our market, of course, with people like Zach Top's coming back around and those kinds of like country artists that are doing this thing where the lyric can be simple and there's just this like sweet country, like get on the dance floor kind of thing to it. But a couple thoughts there.
Yeah, I like the feeling of this, Ken. It doesn't have anything yet that's just compelling me to love this song. I feel like this is a nice song. Like you did it well. It's just not like taking it to that next level where I feel like you can move me as a listener. I think you just have to dig a little deeper because I can't live without you. It's true. Every breath, every moment, I need you. I've heard that so much that I just feel like if you dug deeper into this feeling that you can't live without the person, I think that would pull me in more as a listener. But I mean, it's well done. I just feel like dig a little deeper on it and make me care a little bit more about this song.
That's a great point. I feel like saying something so universal like that, like I can't live without you. We've all had that feeling about someone, but yeah, digging deeper and trying to say it a little differently. Like how can you say that in maybe a little bit more of a unique way? And I always think about when I'm listening to songs about the character, like, do I really care about this character? Are they like taking me along this journey? Is it something that I want to go back and listen to? And I think Clay makes a great point. Like everything about it is well done. It's just going that little bit extra level deeper.
Totally.
Would be great.
And in the chat, someone was saying show not tell, or show then tell. Kind of building that story.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Love that.
All right.
A
Next
lot of
up,
solo writes tonight.
there
Like,
are
more-
so
More
many.
than I know.
Another solo write coming up. This is Redneck Will by Marvin Shelton.
That's my truck, it's a Chevy Dually. Me, my dog, he's a bit unruly. My home is up on 8 wheels, parked out in a dirt field. I got all I need, my woman treats me like a king. Yeah, I know that I might go too far sometimes. I'm living life my way, but some folks like to say, you can't do that, but everybody knows a redneck will. You can't fix that, everybody knows a redneck will. Every little no I hear, I just tell them hold my beer. Ain't much of life that knocks me down, ask anyone in this one-horse town. If someday I take a nasty spell, jumping my three-wheeler over some hill, I'll rest in peace. I already wrote my redneck will. It goes to my truck, got the dent from my ass.
That is
So
so
great.
funny.
It's fun.
That is original. I've never heard that title or that idea done like that. That's fun. I
I
like,
already wrote my redneck wheel.
And I love in the second verse, then it's gonna go on. Just
yeah,
talk
it
about the will.
goes to my truck. Yeah, he's listing it all out. That's super cute. I mean, that's a great idea. That's honestly one heck of an idea. I feel like I don't know why I kept thinking you might say like play on like a redneck like will, if there's a will there's a way kind of thing. I don't know why I was thinking that might come up in the chorus, but I love, yeah, I already wrote my redneck will. I mean, I think there's some lines in here that feel a little rushed and kind of packed in there, like not as conversational as they maybe could be. And that might just be taking some words out that might not need to be there, but it's really very cool. I feel like it definitely like relevant with the kind of like tongue in cheek thing and like the way that the melody hits in the verse. It's very, very punchy. I like it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Lots of attitude, for sure.
Oh, we have Ken
Hey,
in the
Dana,
chat from the last song.
Yeah, Ken had the song before this, and he
Mhm.
says, "Thank you. I put the emotional part in the second verse and bridge." Yes, Ken. I think these days we've got to get people to the second verse. So if you can get a little bit more of the emotion in that first part of the song, just to keep them there. I think for me it was mainly like, because I can't live without you. It's true. I just felt like I wish there's a little bit more meat in this chorus somehow. And then that, because honestly, by that time, people aren't going to wait around to the bridge of the song, you know?
Mhm.
So our job, I look at it like this. Every line we write is a carrot to get you to the next line. And you've got to keep dangling that carrot in front of that. Is it dogs? Who? Is it in front of a rabbit? Carrot in front of a rabbit. Yeah. You got to keep dangling that carrot in front of the rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I
All
did
right.
grow up in the country, but I forgot all that stuff. many
You're like,
years
give me
ago.
the carrot. Where's the carrot coming from?
And Gary has a good question here in the chat too. Potentially, would some of these solo writes benefit from finding a co-writer? If you guys have a take on that.
I always am a big fan. I think 100%ers are so impressive, and I do love that. But I think back to kind of what Clay was talking about earlier. Sometimes, I think co-written songs are a huge part of this, and kind of getting someone else to hear what you have, even if it is a fully written song, and kind of someone else can listen to it, kind of like we're doing right here, and hear something that you're maybe not hearing and help fine tune it with you and just kind of get it to that next level. I think that's like the beauty of co-writing in every situation. It's just someone else is going to have strengths that you don't have, and they can bring something to the table, especially when you meet that, you know, those few, however many co-writers that you have that you really gel with and you trust, and you guys kind of have this communication together. But definitely a lot of times at our company too, we'll set people, a lot of people like to write by themselves and kind of get some ideas down, and that's totally normal and I think really productive use of your time. But then taking those songs, whether they just be starts or they're fully written songs, whatever, verse and chorus, taking it to a co-writer is a really, really great way to kind of level it up and get someone else's ears on it and eyes on it and strengths on the song, make it a little better for you.
And not just from the writing standpoint,
Mhm.
which that's a great point. I mean, even for my personal self, I felt like I became a better lyric writer when I started writing with someone like Tia Sillers, who was just a killer genius at writing lyrics. And I was like, oh, that's how it's done. And so you start picking things up through osmosis. So you learn from your co-writers. But then the other side of it is business-wise, it gets back to what I was saying before. People tend to come up in groups.
Yeah.
So if you're co-writing with these, not all on one song, but if you have a group of people, 5 or 6 people you're co-writing with on a regular basis, and one of them gets lands a big cut or gets a publishing deal, all of a sudden you're writing with them now, and their publishers hearing everything you write. So it's just good also from a networking standpoint to
Totally.
co-write. And so that's maybe even more important than
Definitely.
than writing a song with someone else, you know?
Yeah, we see it all the time. Like we'll have a name keep popping up in these songs that get turned in, and we're like, who is this person? Or who are they working with? Are they signed? Like we got to get a meeting with them and kind of hear what they do. And that's always such a great idea. And Clay's totally right. You might have heard this before, but that is like people really do come up together. What is it like? Rising boats raise all. I don't know. That's the thing, but we all come up together, and I think it's really smart to extend your network and just find people that you write with, and then it's fun. Then you guys get to come up together.
Awesome. And some people in the chat, Robert says, I'd love to find someone to co-write with. Songtown is a great place to do that.
We've come to the right place.
Yes.
Damon's asking about sharing a link. He wanted to share a song. Damon, what we do is every few months we do this Club Songtown. So get on our mailing list, and the next time that we do one, you'll get notified and you can submit a song for it.
Awesome.
We'd love to have you.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. We got the next one called Moonshine by Paul Greenwood.
This old life, well, it's been rough. It's nothing like I ever thought it would be. I've only got 2 dimes to rub together and a face in the mirror that just ain't me. And I bet I got a bone to pick with the man upstairs. He don't give a shit, no. He and I stopped talking years ago. Blue skies and a mountain range, an old car and some snakeskin boots. That's all a man really needs in the world, a way you never forget your roots. I know that life ain't easy, but stay for a while and sing along with me. Now raise your glass up to the starry spangled sky, and let's wash away our sins in the river tonight. Then pour a little moonshine on the fireplace and watch the embers burn. Raise a toast to the folks above and admit to yourself that you just don't learn. Quit asking God for mercy. Now pass me the bottle, cause damn it, I'm thirsty. We're gonna fly so high, then kick back and bask in the moonlight. Maybe find the reason we're alive, yeah.
Well, first of all, Carrie, my girl, thank you for the saying. It's rising waters raise all ships. Thank you. You got me. Okay, so this one, Paul, I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff happening in here. I feel like there's like a couple songs happening in here too. Like it's like not one song almost. Like you could almost take this and be like a couple different songs. There just feels like there's a lot going on there. That's one thing that I kind of felt. But like lots of cool detail in there, like those lines of I've only got 2 dimes rubbed together and a face in the mirror that just ain't me. Like there's some really descriptive stuff in there that I can put myself in this story and picture that, and like you're really being like vivid with that and kind of just intentional for sure. So there's some really cool things going on here. I just think it's a little bit like too much going on. It doesn't feel like I'm like the whole first verse, I'm like, okay, where are we going? How are we going to get to Moonshine? And then you kind of see it in the second verse and going out to the mountain range and that kind of stuff. But I don't know if that's just my take on this, but it just feels like it's kind of, I'm not really seeing where we're going.
And the arrangement
Yeah.
is kind of odd too. Verse, chorus, guitar solo, chorus. So it just depends, Paul, on what your goals are. If you're shooting for songs that are in the marketplace today, I would get to that chorus way sooner. So I would go verse, chorus, solo, chorus. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would kind of maybe that's what it is too, kind of tying the two verses together. That's like the beauty of a chorus there in the middle is kind of like, this is what we're talking about. This is kind of this is the message, and then the verses build the story around it. I feel like so that could help a lot, just even an arrangement thing there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Totally.
cool stuff.
All right. Next up, we have Want You More, submitted by Frank Snelson and Andrew Langdon.
Andrew, he had another song tonight earlier.
Oh, he did. All right.
No, was that
co-writers.
Drew?
Drew, Andrew, same person, I think.
And Drew. Yes. Okay.
Frank submitted this one. Check it out.
Cigarettes and kerosene won't start a fire like you and me. You kiss me hard till I can't breathe. Then you tell me that you're gonna leave. It's 2 a.m. and I say please stay. Then you whisper maybe baby. And all the while you know I let your body drive me crazy. But I'm only yours when you're lonely. Yeah, I know the sound of a closing door. And I know that we both swore we wouldn't go here anymore. We wouldn't go here anymore. We've done this all before. But every time you're in my arms, the only thing that I know for sure is that you make me want you more, more. This tangled sheets and sweet perfume, but it's all that's left.
Cool. I like a lot of how it starts in the first verse. Again, there's like some cool details in there and like getting us into the story and introducing the characters and making us kind of care about it, about where the story's headed. And then you've got like the good melodies in the chorus that kind of give that like pop country thing going. Like it feels good to listen to. I feel like this one kind of lands a little bit in like just the hook itself falling a little flat for me.
Yeah.
Just I want you more. It's kind of what Clay was speaking to earlier. Like it's, in this market and just in these times, depending on what your goals are, of course, always, but just if you want the song to kind of stand out for pitch purposes or for something like that, you might have to go a little deeper or say it in a little bit more of an original way, just to give us something a little bit more to hold on to.
If you guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about, take a listen to Mitchell Tenpenny singing. When he sings a chorus and then at the end and he goes, if you stop telling lies about me, I won't tell the truth about you. And it's just like, hits you and you feel it. And that's what we're talking about. If you're going to write a song that gets attention, that changes your life, it's got to just hit you in the gut and pay off when it hits to the end of that chorus. The other thing, Andrew, I love your verse melody. When we got to the chorus, I know the sound of a closing door. That's such a strong rhythmic opening to that. And then we go, I know that we both swore, and then you hit these two lines. We wouldn't go here anymore. We wouldn't go here anymore. So that's half of a chorus. I really felt like it needed to go back to the longer line, like the first line, but instead you gave me "We've done this all before," which is exactly the same length as the 4 lines before it. You need to go back at that point to the longer line to make it have some symmetry and bring back that hook of that great first line that you had. And because 4 lines in a row that were just pretty similar, I start tuning out at that point. But other than that, I thought the melody was great, but you gotta make me feel, there's gotta be an idea lyrically at the end of that chorus to really make me feel it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's, you're saying you want this person more, but it's also kind of like, what are you really saying? Like someone in the comments just said Only When You're Lonely is a great title. But it's like, I feel like you're kind of more saying that. Like you're saying like, you know, this person is messing with you and they only want you when they're lonely. And it's like, maybe that makes you want them more, but maybe it's like not a complete thought that you're putting together yet in the chorus. Like it's kind of like taking a step back and looking at what you are really trying to say by this story you're telling in the verses and making sure that comes across in the chorus in the strongest like gut punch way.
Oh, yeah. And I think the reason that line stood out, it's a cool lyric line, but the melody, Andrew, that you sang on "But I'm Only Yours When You're Lonely," it made me feel it. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's why somebody brought that line up, is because just the way you married that melody to those words made me feel it. That's
Yeah.
the kind of feeling I want to hear at the end of the chorus. I
Yeah.
want to feel that same way, but even greater because it's at the end of the chorus.
Totally.
That's got so much good stuff there, though.
Yes,
Really good.
totally.
Mhm. All right. Next up, we have Truck Stop by Izzy Malik.
Izzy, he was on the last one that we did.
I had the radio up and the windows down, just shooting the breeze, driving to town, not a care in the world, nobody with me, just me and my F-150. I took a left on the Belmont down to the corner, looked to my right, man, that's when I saw her. I would have crashed when she looked my way if I hadn't slammed on the brakes. She can make a truck stop, back it up and put it in park. That girl can make a head spin, grab your attention. Did I mention she could make a book drop without a single gunshot? That girl can take a cold bay and turn it into a heat wave. She's so hot that she can make a truck stop. She know how to make a truck stop.
So cute. I love that. That's fun. That's really tight. I feel like you kind of listen to something like this and it's like lyrically tight. You know what I mean? Like it's just like there's not a wasted word in there to me. I feel like when I listen to it, it just feels like it was written to the, I don't know, all the way through. But really cute idea. And I feel like you honestly executed on it really well. Like it definitely got in my head. I kind of think it's funny too that those first couple lines, like a part of me is going back and forth in my head right now, like should you give it away before you get to the truck stop? But like it's perfect. Like you tee it up perfectly with I would have crashed when she looked my way if I hadn't slammed on the brakes. She can make a truck stop. Love that. Very cute. I don't know what other feedback I have honestly because I'm a fan.
Yeah, Izzy, I don't know if you played that for Rana in the staff writer group yet. I think, or are you with? You may be in Shane's group. I'd be curious to know what they said about that song.
Oh, I love what Kaylee said too. I feel like that's such a good point. Like feels good to listen to as a girl. Like we talk about it a lot of times with these songs that might be like obviously a guy singing this song, right? Or whatever. Like there's like this like female gaze like element to it where it's like you want that it's kind of like this person Izzy is like so in touch with that because it's just like it feels good to listen to as a girl. Like you're like, oh yeah, I want to be that girl. And then kind of like that saying like everybody wants to be that girl and then every guy wants to have that girl. Like it's just it definitely feels good. I feel like that's a good point to bring up.
Totally.
So why is that? Does it make you feel like he's singing about you as a woman?
Yeah, it's something that, you know, sometimes like, I don't know if it's just like a female thing, but it's like you can almost tell when like a script or a book was like written by a man and you're like, they might not have like, they might not totally get it, or at least a man who might not be like all of these men and everybody here are in touch with their emotions. So you guys get it. But like when it's someone who's so disconnected to like what a woman wants to hear, or it's like, that's I think it just takes that extra element. I'm gonna totally plug a song that one of our writers wrote right now, but it's Parker McCollum's single called "What Kind of Man," and our crew, a couple of our people wrote it, and not to be that person that plugs it right now, but I think of that song and I'm like, that's what a girl wants to hear. Like, I'm not even this guy, but what kind of man do you need? Like, that's kind of what I'm getting here a little bit, is just like, you want to be this girl in the story that this guy's talking about. And it's just something, it's not off-putting. It makes you want to be that girl. Yeah. I feel like there's something
It's
to
not
it.
making you feel like that song.
Objectified.
Like Girl in a Country Song. Remember that song?
Exactly.
Yes.
It doesn't make you
yes.
feel like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of the guys here too, if you're listening and if you're tuning in, like, don't, like, I feel like if you're going down the middle, this might be, I don't think it's a hot take, but if you're looking to get a cutter or just like do that kind of like middle of the road bro country kind of thing, do not be afraid to get a woman in the co-write, because they can probably add an element to it that gives it a little bit of like relatability and makes it kind of sound like something like this.
There you go.
Totally.
Carrie Latham in the chat. She's a great lyricist.
Yes,
y'all.
she is.
Yes. Awesome. Great points.
Fun.
All right. Next up, we got One Breath Away by Steve Robinson.
We've been spinning south for so long now, just killing time. I don't know how I convinced myself this ain't what it is. You're halfway gone, holding on to something we both know feels wrong. The warning signs are getting pretty hard to miss. Every time your words don't say what I know they mean, every time you turn your back, when we lay our heads to sleep, I don't need to read your mind when it's written on your face. Even when you're holding me, feels like goodbye is one breath away. One breath away. Don't say
Pretty. There's a lot of really pretty, like, again, melody stuff going on in here. Just kind of the way it's flowing through the verses into the chorus. Like, it just kind of feels like it makes you want to sway back and forth and feels good to listen to. What am I thinking here? I feel like there's maybe some redundancy in the lyric a little bit. Like, you're kind of saying the same thing, and then by the time you get to the end of the chorus and you're saying goodbye feels like one breath away, it kind of feels like you're almost saying that a lot of the song so far. I don't know if it pays off for me in the way that I want it to. Like, I almost, it's not like everything at the end of a chorus has to be like, gotcha, like this is what we're talking about, or like, kind of surprising, but there has to be like some element to me to kind of like give that punch that we keep talking about. That maybe there's a little bit of a creative way to do that isn't so like this thing is, dying slowly, like you're kind of talking about it the whole time. And so I don't know, that's kind of what I'm feeling just listening to it. But there's a lot of pretty stuff going on in here. I just think I kind of wish that the hook would grab me more.
Yeah. I agree. There is some promise there. It feels like goodbye is one breath away. It's close. I felt like the verse, and I'm not sure, Steve, if it's just the demo being a little too slow, but it felt like it just took too long to get to that chorus. I like the chorus a lot, but it just felt like it was just dragging to get there. And I can't tell if it's the demo or if the verse needs to be tweaked a little bit, but I like that chorus a lot.
Yeah, that could probably help it feel stronger to me too if it got there quicker. And it's not
Yeah.
like you kind of give it all away before we get to the chorus a little bit. So that's a good point. There's always like, sometimes I'll make comments and y'all are so great. And it's just like, sometimes it is an arrangement thing, or it's just like a tempo thing, or, it's not always like scratching the whole thing and starting from like, you have so many, y'all have such good stuff to work with. It's just kind of like taking these pieces and bringing some stuff out and then rearranging a little bit. And of course, as we were talking about this whole time, co-writers can really help do that too and be.
But I'm
that.
getting what you're saying also, that there's no reason to go into all this redundant detail about halfway gone, holding on, no, feels wrong, there's warning signs, and it's hard to miss. Like, you could lose all of that
Yeah.
and go straight from that first verse into the chorus.
Agreed.
And then maybe the second verse is about the warning signs after the chorus. It's just like, it's almost like you tried to do too much in that first part and gave too much away, Steve, so that when we got to the chorus, it just didn't feel like you were telling me anything new. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
All right. We'll do one more song, and then if you guys want to put some questions in the chat, we'll take a few questions before we wrap up tonight.
Cool.
So this last one is called I Got a Plan by Kiahi Rosette, Richard Carter, and Kim Marrow.
All right, Kiahi.
Yay.
I got a plan. If we stay together, we could run around the world chasing all of our hopes and our dreams. There's no other plan. I think I'm out forever. We can make it, yeah, let's take it to the end, baby, come on with me. So, babe, are you in? Or is it all in my head? I ain't concealing my feelings, yeah, you're the real thing. Forget everything, cause all that really matters is we'll make it, babe, if you hold my hand. Cause I got a plan, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I got a plan, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I got a plan, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I got a plan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So don't hold on to feel it. Hold on to me at the right time.
Fun. So much good energy there. I love a song that's like, let's go, get in the car, let's go. I got it. I know where we're headed kind of thing, like a journey kind of song. Those are always really fun to listen to, and I feel like you get a lot of good stuff across there. Probably potentially sounding like a broken record at this point with like, wanting to get to the chorus, but then you get to the chorus and it's just, you have like a one-line chorus, which is really cool. That definitely can work. Of course, depending on like genre and what you're aiming for. I feel like you could probably say a little bit more. I feel like I want a little bit more, like the one line by itself isn't necessarily.
What is the plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
What tell me what's going to be so great about this plan?
Yeah.
Like,
And I
think also what you're feeling about the pre-chorus being long is scansion-wise, the way the words fall. If you follow the first verse, it's 2 lines and then a third line that's really long. Then 2 lines and then a third line that's really long. When it gets to the pre-chorus, it's the same thing. 2 short lines and then it's a 1 long.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing changes for a long time in that structure.
Yeah.
So if I was to do anything, I would change up that pre-chorus so that it didn't follow that same structure. And like Tenasie was saying, put a little bit more information in the chorus besides I got a plan. Like, I just feel like, okay, what's the plan? Like, you telling me you got a plan. What is it?
Yeah, that's such a good point. Because even reading into the second verse, you kind of give some more like descriptive stuff and a little bit more of the story, but none of the plan yet. So you
Right.
got to tell us the plan. We want to
Yeah.
know.
And
We're gonna
they
drive
did-
until the map turns blue or something. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
They did say, I believe, in this submission that this one was written specifically for
first sync.
sync, like Love is
Yeah.
Blind type thing. So I don't know if that changes needing more details of the plan.
I don't know. That's a good question, and that's a good point, because I've definitely heard songs with like that don't say very much in shows like that when I binge my Love is Blind type shows on Netflix. But so
Yeah. I mean, even if it was like something I got a no plan or something like what something to give me just a little bit more information about what's going on, because it gets back to what we're talking about the other song. You got to make me care, and I'm like, okay, you got a plan. Okay. Yeah, that's great. You got a plan, but it's not pulling me in and making me care about this plan yet.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's just the title, I got a plan, or if it needs more energy around that to make it feel more substantial. But I love everything else about it. I love the verse is such a fun melody, and I mean, it's really cool. Tweak the pre-chorus and give me just one morsel more of information to make me
Yep.
care in that chorus.
Totally agree.
Awesome.
I love it.
And yes, in the chat, a lot of people are wondering. We had a lot of song submissions, so we got through as many as we could. But please submit next time. Athena is asking if we submitted a song and ours were not critiqued. Should we submit a different song next time? I would say, sure.
Yeah,
Give another
do
song a
that.
go.
And if you're a Songtown member, our members get feedback in our forum every month, pro feedback. So that's also available to you at Songtown.
And actually, speaking of, we did have a question here. What is a next step after you get good feedback from some of the pros in the pro forum, or maybe during a session like this? Where do you kind of go from there?
So good feedback. I would have to know more about this, Keeson, because in my eyes, one good song is okay. But if you're consistently writing good songs, then it's a lot easier to get the attention of a publisher, because what happens is if you've got one song that they like in the pro feedback forum, and you, for instance, book a mentoring session with the publisher and you play them that song, they're like, this is great, what else you got? And if you don't have anything else, then you've kind of blown that shot. So I always say try to build up where you have 5 to 10 songs that you feel like are killer, and then you have something that when you approach a publisher, that you have something a little more substantial. Maybe they hear enough where they go, hey, I'd love to hook you up with one of my writers or whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of focus on how do I write a really great song, instead of how do I become a great writer that consistently writes great songs. And so I would have to know more about that. Is this the first time you've gotten good feedback? Has it been going on for 6 months and every time you're getting great feedback? Because that's what I would be shooting for.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I always say to people too, like a lot of it, like when you get really good feedback on a song, or you're kind of getting like, those are good guidelines to follow. Like you have this song now you feel really strong about, like make sure all of your other songs are raising to that bar. Like even in our day to day, when our writers turn in songs, I kind of like every day they're trying to outwrite what they wrote last time and beat that out constantly. So if you got some good feedback on a song, like you just know that that's the bar now, and just keep raising that. And Clay is completely right. When I've had meetings with people, whether it's on Songtown or just in my job day to day, like, and you have a link of 5 to 10 songs, it's a perfect amount to like really see a through line and be like, okay, you've really got a grip on this. Like, you are a solid writer, you know how to do this. You have a voice. I feel like a lot of times that takes a lot of development, and it's great. All of y'all are here working on that, and it's the coolest thing ever. I love my Songtown people, but I think just getting that first great feedback is like, let's go now, like foot on the gas. That's the green light. Like, everything has to raise that bar. So super cool.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Got time for one more question. This has been great. 2.5 hours of songs, y'all. You did a great job.
Awesome.
Tennessee, the first half, we had just some killer songs.
I love that.
And a lot of them were written solo rights, which was really,
That's
impressive.
awesome. That is so impressive. Don't know how y'all do it. That's awesome.
Yes, we take all genre submissions. Someone was asking in the chat here. And Thomas, yes, if you didn't get selected this time, please submit again. It will not be already in the queue. So submit another song for next time for sure.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Check out Songtown. In the meantime, if you're not a member, we'd love to have you in the community.
All right. Thanks, Tennessee.
Cheers,
Thank you
y'all.
for having me. See you guys next time.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.